Welcome to the drivers' press conference ahead of this weekend's Italian Grand Prix. We have Sergio Perez, Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen and Romain Grosjean. Sebastian, Spa was a dominant performance by you and Ferrari last weekend. Do you think that pace will translate to Monza this weekend, given the high-speed nature of the track?
I don't know. I think in the end it was less dominant than what you might think. Monza in many ways is a bit similar to Spa. But then again, obviously, if you look at the track and actual corners, not just the straights, then it's quite a bit different. So we see in the past, obviously, I remember some good races here with great podiums, but for sure, we want more than a podium. But I think we'll see what we get.
Can you tell us the feeling to be a Ferrari driver at Monza?
Obviously, the driving doesn't change. It's, of course, our home Grand Prix is more busy. We have a lot of support, a lot of tifosis here, so that obviously makes it a lot different. But if you purely talk pure driving, racing, that is the same job than any other place. It just happens to be our home race. Hopefully we get the strong results from the team, not just for us, but for all the fans and tifosis. So.
Roman, Gunther told us earlier that both of you guys will have the new floor this weekend after changing last weekend. Can you just explain what the difference was last weekend between them and how you think you came to the decision to have it on your car here?
So last weekend we both have the update on the car, and we were not very competitive on Friday, so Friday night we decided to revert one car to the old spec, just to see the difference and try to understand and get a lot of data, which we did. The guys went to the factory and discussed with the aerodynamic department, and it was clear that the new package is a good step in a good direction, and that we should run it. It does require a bit of adjusting in the setup, which Kevin did over the weekend using it, and which now we know. So I think now we're gonna use that new package that should be more competitive.
Checo, after all this emotional roller coaster, what do you expect this weekend here?
I think we have a competitive car. We proved that in Belgium. We come into a similar track in terms of what you run around here. So I think we should be quite competitive, and the aim is still the same, to try to be the best of the rest, and I think we have good chances of achieving that again.
Many people believe you have the best car. And many Italians say Ferrari has a great chance of being world champion this year. Do you feel this pressure?
Well, not really. I think we know our car best. And I think we have a lot of people on board telling us how good our car is in which point of the track and which point of the year and so on, similar to other teams. So I think we know what's going on. We know that we have a great car. I think we have a good car that seems to have worked so far in more or less every track. I think it's a great feeling when you step inside the car and you know that you can, fight for first position, for the podium, for victory on Sunday. So that's, what you want as a driver.
Kimi, you've always struck us over the last 18-odd years, or whatever you've been in Formula One, as being a very private individual. Yet you've recently authorised a biography, and I've read some excerpts from this that have been translated, and it seems to be fairly open about your lifestyle, etc. Why are you willing to open yourself to the world like that?
Probably had a wrong translation. Without that, I lived through it, so it just happens to be now in the books, and probably most of the things a lot of people know, maybe some, not all, but I don't feel that is something different suddenly, in my view.
Question for Kimi. I know you won't answer me, but I need only to see your expression. In Monza, we've always had a big announcement. So, we have to expect something. The cap? Look at me.
Oh, better classes, maybe? You need to talk to the team. It's not up to me. That's about it. Not my decision in the end, so. You got it?
Welcome to part two of the drivers' press conference. Nico, if we could start with you, please, by taking a look back first at last weekend's Belgian Grand Prix and what happened at the start. Specifically talking about the halo, because opinion was divided about that prior to the start of the season, even among the drivers. Has your accident with Charles Leclerc changed your mind about the halo?
For sure, I think it's proven, pretty useful and a good device. I mean, it's obviously we can only speculate what would have happened without it, but it looked pretty clear from the point that, the tire marks were obviously all over the halo, and from that point of view, it's done, a very good job. Keep the head safe. So, yeah.
And looking ahead to this weekend, Nico, you're carrying a 10-place grid penalty, but what do you think you can do in the Renault?
Yeah, it's obviously not going to be an easy weekend. Carrying that penalty, Monza, perhaps a difficult track for us, but it is what it is. We approach this weekend open-minded and want to deliver a good weekend and especially have a good race on Sunday, regardless of where we start or how difficult it might seem. It's always fun to race around here, so just look forward to get back in the car tomorrow and start this weekend.
Charles, coming along to you now. What was your overriding emotion after the race on Sunday?
The frustration to have not finished the race, to be honest. I was just very frustrated because obviously in the last few races we have been quite unlucky. Then, of course, looking back at the images, we can't know what will have happened without it, but obviously I was quite happy to have it over my head, and as Nico said, I think it deserves to be in Formula 1 now. Whether it looks good or bad, I don't think that matters anymore.
Esteban, Spa last weekend was a spectacular result for you. Just talk us through your emotions after the race and how you feel it's going to impact on your job prospects going forward.
Well, thank you very much, first of all. Of course, it was a fantastic weekend and fantastic qualifying, obviously. After tough times, we are back in a great way. It brings joy to everyone in the team, the mechanics, the engineers. Everybody were pushing hard and had tough times, but that's totally behind. Everyone's happy now. And of course, then the cherry on the cake, the 5th and 6th in the race. A good start for me as well, and a good result in the end with 18 points. And we couldn't, come back in a best way and start in a better way.
Sergey, bet it felt good to run in the points for the first time last weekend, though.
It's been good to run in the points, but the best thing is that finally we had a pace to be fighting, not just me running there because of whatever happened, because we had a pace for it. And it's been a very good weekend. I think we can take a lot of positives from there.
A question for Charles. Can you explain to normal people like us how your body and mind react to a big shunt such the one we saw in Spa last week?
To be honest, I think it was. It looked a lot bigger on TV than it actually was. I felt, obviously, Fernando going over me, but it was not like it was a big shock. The only thing I had in my mind is that I was just hoping for some miracle that the car was not damaged enough to go back to the pits. But obviously, when I watched in the mirrors again, I saw that everything was going. The images looks very spectacular, but from the car, inside the car, it was not such a big shunt.